the government's helping for 6 months?
Thank you, Ben. Well, firstly, I represent the industry for the Hair and Barber Council as well, as we're an unregulated industry. But how does it help us? To be honest, our industry has been in crisis for some time. We're still not out of the COVID crisis that happened. 12% of our income is going to COVID debt, so we're already drowning. As I think Giuseppe's quite right there, I'm an accountant as well, and it's very difficult for business to have any kind of long-term strategy for planning when the government are very short-sighted and gives a short window. I think as business owners we have to be proactive, not reactive as we're seeing at the moment. But our problem is our industry is also, this is the hair and beauty industry, so salons are the largest occupier of the high road. We've had a situation where we've got salons who are actually locked into contracts before the restrictions of this energy support package came out, that have been locked into 80 pence a kilowatt hour and much, much more because of their credit rating, because they have COVID debt. So I think the government needs to kind of open their eyes a little bit, because it's not just a 6-month issue. COVID debt lasts 6 to 12 months. And the energy crisis, quite frankly, has just tipped a lot of our industry over the edge, and many, many, many businesses have closed already.
I was going to ask you that. I mean, is there evidence that it's had that effect? And also, I suppose, following so closely after COVID, the pandemic, is this crisis in some ways even more devastating than the pandemic for you?
Absolutely, Ben. We were already drowning. 12% of our revenue is going to COVID debt. We're being pincered because our consumers are not spending. Consumers are not coming into the salon as often. And we actually did an insolvency analysis across the industry. Currently, the largest occupier of the high road, an unregulated sector, may I add, with an underground market that has absolutely flourished during COVID, 1 in 7 salons and barbers are currently insolvent. So we are not just in crisis, we need a life raft. The problem is, and I'm going to be honest with you, Ben, our sector's always forgotten. We are never ever listened to. And I have to say, we want growth. We would love growth. It would be amazing. But you know what? We've actually got to stay in business past 6 months. And as a vulnerable industry, I don't think we've got much chance of doing that. And there's 600,000 jobs at risk, 11,500 businesses currently trading under the H score and who will actually be insolvent within 12 months. And the government, as usual, forget the hair and beauty sector because we're just females and we're not important.
And Giuseppe, that point that Collette was just making, that consumers have got less money to spend at the moment, the cost of living crisis, but soaring energy bills in particular, does that have an impact on you? And do you worry about that for the future? People just got less money to spend.
It does worry me, yeah. Particularly, sustainability and sustainable products are important to us. And what we're seeing actually is the consumers deciding to veer away from that because sometimes there's a higher cost attributed to sustainable products, and moving more towards the less sustainable options because they're cheaper and it's necessary at the moment. So yes.
And Collette, you're obviously angry with the lack of help as you see it that you've had. But I mean, the government would say this is a global phenomenon, this soaring cost of energy, partly or largely because of the war in Ukraine. They're doing what they can. They can't do everything. And it's already costing tens of billions of pounds what they are doing.
I appreciate that. And obviously there's areas which will always be outside of government's control. But, our government has spent the summer switching ministers and switching prime ministers. They're asleep at the wheel. We need to have, all I want from the government, I'm not angry with them. I think they're in an incredibly difficult position. I think they did give through COVID, saved a lot of businesses. But I want to see some proactive kind of strategy. That's all we ask for. I'd ask Mr. Rees-Mogg, a very well respected politician, please meet with me, meet with our industry, stop ignoring us. We are here. We're here as part of the solution. We're employers. And if we don't look after the employers, then there won't be any jobs for anybody. So we are part of the solution to actually growth in the economy, especially small businesses like myself and Giuseppe.
And Giuseppe, is that how you see it? You just want more long-term help, not just 6 months, which some people are seeing as too short-term?
Yeah, way more than 6 months. It would be good if we could stop having all these last minute and very short term reactionary decisions and actually, have government aligned with small businesses and have a much longer term view.
Well, thank you very much, both of you, and good luck with with all your endeavours. I know, of course, it's a difficult time. Giuseppe Bloom Mangione and Collette Osborne from Salon Owners United. Thanks very much indeed for your time. Thanks for being with us on BBC News.
Thank you.